Good evening, gentlemen.
Watch who you call a gentleman.
I wasn't talking to you.
Okay. Fair enough.
Love you, buddy. Just kidding. Volume's all right. Brad, can you hear me? Can't hear you, Brad.
Good evening, gentlemen. Watch who you call a gentleman. I wasn't talking. We're traveling back in time.
No volume, Brad.
Do you know, 12 people got killed in an air crash. They're skydivers. Isn't that like an automatic? You can just jump out and you're okay. I mean,
Hey, Brad, you're muted.
All right, what about
Now you're good.
now? Okay, sweet. Okay. All right.
Is there two of me? Is there one of somebody waiting in the?
No, what are we, like, time traveling now? Like, no.
yeah, we are.
Oh wait, no. This was
Great.
like how Mark was yesterday, though. No, you're all good. You're all good.
Okay.
So yeah, how do you think Shelton did, though, Drew?
Oh, I thought he did really well. I mean, Dave's a cool guy. Dave is he did well. Did you guys see I changed my background? See?
I do like that.
Yeah. Better. And I'm trying not to have any logos in there.
Well, thank goodness. You know,
Yeah.
We got taken down last week because of something you did,
No, it wasn't.
not because of something I did at all.
No. Was
That
it my tribute to my dad?
No, it was me. It was me putting in the Seth Meyers clip.
Oh, so it wasn't anything I did.
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just being a wise ass. Yeah, no. And it's funny. That was the first time that I've like tried to throw a bone to like, you know, all of late night doesn't just make fun of Trump. It was like a Biden joke, and I loved it because it just made fun of Biden for being old because you know he is. So, and you know who else is old and just turned 80 today? President Trump.
Oh.
You guys didn't see
Yeah,
all the
Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen so many figures.
Mark celebrated. Mark celebrated his birthday.
I did. I was 17.
Wait, let's get that up. Mark, can you tell me about what we're about to see? Because
I didn't know they had a camera on, and she and I just, meant the thing that's on video. Well, I'd gotten this flag. See, this was a couple of years ago, and I was kind of bummed out that they were putting all this stuff out with Trump stuff like on flags, and I'd never seen a political candidate using military bunting and stuff like that. But also, he was having this big thing: you shouldn't desecrate flags. I had an American flag with a Trump image on it, but that hadn't come in yet. And so this one was, you know, Trump 2024 was manufactured in China. And I was showing, you know, burning up a flag like that, perfectly protected by free speech, First Amendment, in bad taste, you know, that's me. And so I burned it in my backyard, and that was fun.
let's
It's a flag made in China. It's made for a candidate who promotes actually anti-American values. And he's not even a candidate at this point. When he did occupy the office of president, it was thanks to committing acts of treason. At least he was complicit in those acts. As make votes count again, dude, they did last time. That was your problem, not the systems, or the problem of the American people. And with any luck, you won't be coming back.
we did not get that luck, Mark. I don't think.
What?
We did not get that luck. We're living in it or through it now.
Oh, I know we are. I know. I thought it was going to be, and really what's showing now, and I believe the one study that was in Nature showed the algorithms were like screwed around with in 2024, and really Trump didn't win on the votes. So
He didn't.
He did.
Okay. So when people do the same thing about the 2020 election, I just basically dismiss them because it's TDS, dude. I mean,
No,
Trump lost in 2020 and he won in 2024. That's a fact, and that is what happened.
I mean, I'm not against investigating 2024 a little bit just to see what Elon was into. That's all.
You're gonna get all that's gonna do is just gonna waste as much money, if not more, as the amount of money that was wasted investigating the 2020 election. It's fucking over.
It is.
Live with that's it. What are you gonna do? Rewrite history?
I mean, I'm not the one who wants to rewrite history. There's, they're putting through a bill now that's going to expunge Trump's impeachments in Congress. I guess. They're trying to expunge them so that they won't appear on. But all it's going to show is yes, Trump was impeached, and then they were expunged because loyalists to Trump did that. Like that, you're not just rewriting history. You're trying to add on to stuff.
You're
trying.
I mean, it's all dumb. It's all dumb.
When Indiana passed an expungement statute 10 or 12 years ago, and the idea was that if after so long a time, if you meet certain conditions, you should have your criminal record expunged. So ideally, it'd be somebody with like a minor misdemeanor or something like that. Well, the way they wrote it is your record would come up and it would say the person's conviction for such and such was expunged. In other words, it's right there still. Expungement is supposed to mean you remove it from the pages.
Okay.
It's not there.
This was the case in New York, correct? You remember the process?
Indiana enacted.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It didn't do what an expungement is supposed to do. You remove it.
Okay. So the 34 felonies that he was convicted of? Isn't that it? Do you remember who the prosecutor was?
I remember who the defender was.
You remember who the prosecutor was?
Not right offhand. Who was it?
Letitia James.
Okay.
Look her up.
Who was Trump's defense attorney?
She's been accused, and I'm not sure if she's gone to trial on it or what, but doing the exact same thing. He was inflating the value of his properties, which isn't that what the state does to us when they tax us?
Okay.
They do that for our own good, for the roads and the police and the fire departments. They tax us because it helps.
How come the roads suck?
No, because they privatized in Indiana.
If they privatized it, they would be better. DPW is not privatized.
Have you ever ridden on the toll road up there in the northern part of the state and gone at the same time on the interstate? I mean, they're parallel roads. Well,
yes.
The toll road sucks. And the
interstate. Oh my God, are you serious? No, the toll road is the way to go because there's nobody on it because nobody wants to pay. and everyone's on 94 up there. That shit is that's why that's all backed up. It's because it's free. Wait, let's get to our favorite person. I think our favorite collective person in the world is Micah Beckwith.
Oh boy.
So last week, I think it was, they had a religious freedom discussion at the State House on Thursday, and everybody was invited, right? And even to speak. I think Dan Elliott spoke, and Fatty Kadora, and other people, cross party lines and everything, across religious lines. The only person who didn't really get invited, it seemed, was Micah. And so he came out with a, with a little rebuttal against this. So it says, well, I strongly disagree with Greg Walker and Daniel Elliott's apparent support of Sharia law. I'm thankful this event is peaceful. Sharia law has absolutely no place in our country, and I will never apologize for saying America is now and always should be one nation under God.
Mark, go ahead.
From the pulpit of Lieutenant Governor.
Micah Beckwith is a slack-jawed mutant. He's an idiot when it comes to any history or law. He's a coward. He won't debate it. Micah, go to hell. So, there's my rebuttal.
Hey, Lucy's here. Hi, Lucy. So I guess, Micah Beckwith is the gift that keeps on giving week after week. He provides us with something to talk about. At this point, maybe he should have his own theme music, right? Good idea. I think it's divisive, man. I think it's divisive, and I think it's reckless for him to say that two of our elected officials support Sharia law. That's reckless for him to say, and I don't think it was the right thing. As a pastor, that might have been okay, but as a lieutenant governor, you're supposed to more unite people. So I think he was. I'm not going so far as to say he was out of line, because it's his right to say that. But just because you can say something doesn't mean you should. So I think.
On what you're saying, and on the substance, I'm sorry, it flipped off like that. Technically, to some degree, we recognize Sharia law. Let me explain why. We have what's called choice of law. It used to be called conflicts. So let's say two parties enter into a contract in an Islamic country. They've moved here, or one party lives here and the other, whatever. Their contract says Sharia law will govern principles of this transaction. Under the laws of Indiana or any other state, our choice of law rules say, well, that holds unless some aspect of Sharia law is repugnant to the laws of the state of Indiana. You could say, well, isn't
that what Mike is arguing?
No. He's saying anything related to Sharia. But if you look at their law, let's say it's a simple transaction on contract law. There's nothing repugnant to Indiana's laws about that. So to the extent that would apply, it's a very rare instance.
Drew, can you give like a 10-second Sharia law? Like, what is
there might be
with Sharia law.
There may be some things in Sharia law that agree with things in our law, especially when you were speaking about business transactions. But I don't think you should be saying that there already is Sharia law here, because there's not.
If a case like that did take place here,
I'm saying that we do, not by saying it is accepted here, but that because our choice of law rules are what they are, there are going to be instances in which Sharia law is recognized here on specific cases.
Only because it agrees with our law. Only because it agrees with our law. And our law overrules any kind of Sharia shit.
Well, in like the repugnant part, like that's the biggest part to me. I muted both of you guys because I just wanted to. Okay. See, I don't think Mark knows yet though.
No, Mark, you're muted, buddy.
Okay.
What?
No. I just wanted to, because getting back to Micah though, because with Micah doing this, like he's stealing the spotlight again. Would it have been easier for this religious freedom conference or whatever to have invited him?
No.
Like, are they censoring Micah by not inviting him?
No, they're not. They're not censoring him because he's free to say whatever he wants. They just choose not to have him say it at their event. So no, that's not a.
In the
that's
statement.
not a. Yeah, no, that's not censoring him.
It's excluding him, right? Like,
sure it is. What he said was divisive, and maybe they didn't want him there.
Though.
He said 2 of our elected officials support Sharia law, is what he said. So
he said that after, like, he's saying that at the event, Greg Walker and Elliott's speeches or whatever, or even appearance there, gave the support of that, right?
Yeah, because he's saying that if you show up and say be tolerant towards them, you support Sharia law, which is bullshit.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
so Micah, even if Micah was invited, he might not have gone.
Might not have.
Good
Like,
point.
do you think Micah would have
Good
gone?
point. Yeah. Good point. So by him saying that he supports Sharia law, or by Beckwith saying that Walker and Elliott supported Sharia law by just being there. So if he would have been invited, had he gone, in his mind, would he have been supporting it?
Yeah, and I mean, and that's a question for Micah, you know, and Micah will, I don't know. Oh my God, he's actually going to be on Mouthwash on Tuesday. Yeah, all right.
I thought he was waiting. I thought he was waiting until after the convention.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I saw John talk about it earlier, but
well, I mean, there could be all 14 people left in the congregation of that one church where he goes. I mean, they're eliminating people from membership and from pastorship there rather rapidly. But
well, wait, I want to get into next weekend, but I want to play a video from. Wait, let me just get it here. Okay, yeah, I want to play a video from. Hang on. Sorry. New buttons.
What do you think?
No, there's a video from Mouthwash. It's Jay Hart, and it's his final speech, and he really goes in hard about Diego and being behind Diego and believing in him instead of Jim Banks or the establishment. Jay Hart. If you guys have not seen the last episode of Mouthwash, I wasn't on it. It was all Republicans, and I had so many friggin' questions that I wanted to ask all of them. It was a ridiculously great episode. Tiffanie was hilarious. John had a bunch of technical issues, and but yeah, Tiffanie, you know, steered the ship all right. And Jay said a lot of great things, but this was his
with anybody who just wants to save this country. I'm willing to hit the pause button on policy.
Sorry. See, every time John does that joke of like, we need a producer, I laugh at it, but I'm like, John, it's not that hard.
With anybody who just wants to save this country, I'm willing to hit the pause button on policy that means a lot to me. But I realize that without the United States, we can't do any of that. We can't. We don't have any of this. Our children they have no shot at the future. In the future, to have the lives that we've lived, they have no shot at it if we don't save that. And so the whole Republican Democrat fight thing, yeah, I disagree with their policy, but if there's anybody on the other side of the aisle that genuinely recognizes that there are people in both parties at the top. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're Barack Obama or you're George Bush or you're who. It doesn't matter. If those people are trying to take power away from this nation, we need to stop them collectively. We need to stop them. That doesn't mean that I agree with Democrat policy. That just means that, like them, some of them, I've heard them say the same thing, that I'm willing to hit pause on that policy so we can stand together for a moment and say, yes, we don't agree with each other, but we all dislike you. We all want to save this country. And I'm willing to do that. Like right now, I've never been able to say that in my life because I've been so caught up in that fight. But I'm willing to pause all that. That's where I'm at right now. And so, you know, when you got Laura Loomer, you know, who we know is all part of the big Israel money machine, and we got Laura Loomer involved in our Secretary of State race, like, come on.
Yeah, that's definitely wicked me out.
So delegates, if you're listening, really think, Andrew, please think about this. We're going to allow Washington to come in here via Jim Banks and tell our state how to operate and handpick our Secretary of State from Washington. And again, it's nothing against Max, but if we allow that to happen, we're giving up our state's rights. We're giving up control of our state. And it's a terrible, terrible move. And so I hope the delegates will stop this. I hope they'll stop it, because whatever you think missteps that Diego Morales has made, I mean, do you think that the correction on that is to just give up power to our state and just let banks and his millions and millions of foreign lobby money decide who's going to represent us? I hope people think about this. I really do. I hope they think about it. I'll be at the convention working my ass off for Diego and for Indiana, ultimately for Indiana.
All right.
Talking. Sorry. Yeah. Again, Jay Hart with that very impassioned speech about Diego, and I love his hat. Best hat maybe of all time.
Jay's awesome.
Yes. And that's the thing, Mark. Like, Jay is very much Republican, and he was making a whole lot of sense on many issues, I feel like.
Specific to that race, Secretary of State, I understand what he's saying in terms of other people coming in from outside. Understood. Specific on Secretary of State's race is the Secretary of State themselves doesn't have that much latitude for policy. They're supposed to do the things administratively for two areas of the law primarily. One, elections, the other, corporations, business associations. Now, they can screw them up really major league, but trying to initiate any actions is different. Now, a peripheral thing is handling cash going through the office. That's applicable to any governmental job. And that, when I read that Bo Bai wants to do an audit if he gets elected, that should be a given. When somebody knew, that shouldn't be some kind of. So, in terms of that race, when I said we need to do that because we've got states' rights involved, states don't have rights. Read the Declaration of Independence. Governments are created to as a convenience for people. You know, people delegate. States don't have rights. People do. But when you're looking about, okay, then what is the latitude that we have here? If they come in and impose some kind of federal thing that we're supposed to do on elections, how is that inconsistent with what we're doing now? What is we have to fight on that? And that's a legitimate question, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. Drew, let me ask you something too, because like in that show, Andrew Horning made his debutante appearance as a Republican again. He's apparently left the Libertarian Party.
Mm-hmm.
I guess like we were talking about that like during the chat on John's show with Shelton, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Brad's basically a libertarian," and I'm like, "Well, you guys just lost."
According to who?
Oh, Larry, yeah, Larry Silver, and then Whitty basically said that I was too.
I think Brad could be converted.
No, yeah, I get that, but then how is someone like Andrew Horning going back to the Republican Party? Like, that's not a move that I would see.
I've known Andrew for some time, and I mean he ran as a Republican against Andre Carson in 2008. It was when Carson's first time being having to run an election.
Yes, Lucy
but,
I love Andrew.
Thanks, Lucy. Thank you.
No, but and it is kind of speculation on that, but I always find people's transition into becoming a libertarian from a Democrat to a libertarian or a Republican to a libertarian is crazy to me, because if it's possible to go from those two extreme parties to like something in the middle, like everybody in the middle,
there's not. I mean,
it's every like. I mean,
the extremes of either party, and when I say either party, I mean Republican, Democrat. The extremes don't make up the majority, but they make the most noise. So
No,
it's
But here's the thing: you've got two corporate entities who have written themselves into the statutes, and they control the whole apparatus in Indiana. So when Andrew's saying, "Well, I'm going to go into the Republican Party," if he's saying, "I'm going to the Republican Party," because realistically, no.
And see,
So,
well, no,
when,
yeah,
when
this
you
is
go
what
in,
I'm not.
go ahead.
Well, no, and because Drew's asked me about this before, and Lucy and I have talked about whether or not libertarian is for me, and like I'm pro-choice, so I don't like, and that seems to be like a line in the sand kind of a thing for a lot of people. But I don't know that I would make it like a platform issue. That, you know, that's what my favorite thing about talking or Jay's speech was that like there's a lot of important things that are getting missed because we're just trying to or people are just being divided and we're falling for it on so many levels. So how do you get around that, I guess?
I don't know, but I do know that when they start pulling it, when people started pulling issues out and just using them as sound bites, and started doing it where all you have to hear is the label for an argument, and then you don't have to deal with its substance. That's when things that added to the drift apart of people being able to talk about issues. So you can get angry about it as soon as you hear the label. You don't have to worry about anything else. Oh, socialized medicine. Shut up. I don't need to know about that. I mean, you can go through a bunch of different labels. And so when you get down to the two corporate entities, they control the whole thing. And a long time, it was like the back room where they're like slapping high fives and everything. They controlled everything. It's not that much different now. But man, that's not the way it should be. And that's why when you've got a corporation like the Republican Party, being basically a private corporation that you really have a difficult time trying to take over, and it's a political party. That shouldn't be the case. Democratic
that's
Party,
both of them, bud. That's both of them.
Not the same mechanism. Not the same mechanism.
Well, Drew,
BOP has been
Different wing of the same bird, bro.
well, Drew, let me ask
What
you.
what you just said about. I'm sorry. What? Go ahead.
Well, do you think Jay would? Like, I think Jay is like more of in line with a libertarian than I am.
No,
but like I don't know that.
Like,
but just based off of talk,
I do know him. I do know him, and I'm just going to tell you the answer to that is no.
is it too extreme towards the Democrat side?
I just I agree with that, Lucy. Yeah, Jay's not going to become a libertarian, nor is he really close to being a libertarian. He is a freedom loving conservative Christian patriot. Would be the best bet. I mean, if I had to describe Jay, that's him. So no, he's not close to being a libertarian.
Okay. I meant no offense to him.
None whatsoever. None. I doubt it would take any, but he's not. Jay would not be close to being a libertarian. No.
I voted for Ed Clark in 1980, and I didn't know who David Koch was. The whole thing was I was living in West Lafayette, Indiana. There was no reason to vote for Jimmy Carter at that time to try to beat Reagan because in Indiana it wouldn't count. And I voted for Ed Clark because of the drug issue. So I voted for a libertarian then. I'm not ashamed, but hey.
Well, no, and so I guess back to the Secretary of State race, Max has been talking about closed primaries, and Drew, you're shaking your head.
Yep. If they close the primaries, they can pay for them themselves, and then if they really want to do it right, they should do it all in convention like libertarians do. And they will never do that because the consultants and the lobbyists, they all make their money during the primary election and the general election. And that would be especially bad for Indiana because the Indiana primary, the Republican primary in Indiana, essentially for a lot of these races is the general. So yeah, absolutely no primaries paid for by the public. They should do their own thing in convention or pay for it themselves.
But at the same time, when you look
Oh, yeah,
at
go ahead, Mark.
I'm sorry. No.
Oh no, go ahead,
When
Mark.
you,
Yeah. Go ahead.
when you look at the way the primaries are set up, they use that as a screening process so they can disqualify people to be delegates at conventions, because the Republican Party at the Supreme Court did not dispute Rust's argument like 2 years ago when his lawyers said 80% of the people in Indiana are eliminated as being delegates or being candidates for anything because they have not voted in 2 consecutive primaries before, so they wouldn't qualify. And the Supreme Court said, well, that's fine. That's okay. It's like, wait a minute. You're using the primaries now in that law, the affiliation law, to disqualify 80% of the people. Irony is, I qualified. I voted in one primary, and then they changed the law for me, and I voted in another one by then. I was a primary qualified Republican. But that's kind of the point. It's used to screen people out instead of any kind of positive benefit for anybody else.
Oh no, totally. Let me see here. Let's do let's do another Jay Hart speech because well, actually no, let's go to Tiffanie because Tiffanie was just hilarious. I love Tiffanie. Let's get this
implemented right now is that they're unconstitutional. So because they are closed to independents and other parties and all of that kind of thing, there's just no way around the fact that it's unconstitutional. And we're asking taxpayers to support basically only 2 parties to promote their candidates. And that's, I get from the inside of party view, yeah, great, this is good for us. But really, what does it do for voters? I mean, voter exhaustion is kind of a big deal. And that's one of those things where you think about
voter exhaustion. They do.
Yes.
Most people don't even vote.
Exactly. And why
What
is
are they
that?
exhausted
Because
from?
they hear a year of campaign commercials, and by the time the primaries are done, I mean, I got to tell you, I have a lot of experience on the other side of this window. And so when you think about how many people have already decided who they're going to vote for in the primaries, that's frustrating. So I know that I'm talking to Republicans now as a Republican, and so I shouldn't be defending libertarians too much.
I was just getting ready to say that.
But the point is this: we have been doing bad by voters, and voters know it. And so the whole idea of the uniparty is coming up.
So voter exhaustion. Voters they feel screwed over. They don't participate. I mean, that's not a good self-cleaning oven.
Well, look at I'm just going to give the example.
No, and then I cut it off on that. But I love Tiffanie because I laughed at the screen when Andrew said that too. Voter exhaustion. I'm like, it's like 30% vote. So how is there any exhaustion? But I get where he was going with, and they were talking about closing the primaries or having closed primaries and stuff. So,
What?
Oh, my screen froze. Sorry.
No, I think that having the closed primaries, it's just benefiting people who are putting a lot of money into primaries. It's really silly. It's gotten silly.
Aren't there a lot of money in the primaries though?
Yes.
There can be more. Going to be more.
There what?
There's going to be more. There has been. It's going to increase.
Right. Well, but then again, if they stopped doing a primary and did all their business at convention, then that would be a lot of money taken away from the consultants and the lobbyists and all those people. And a lot of those people make their living on that shit. The radio stations get money from the candidates for advertising, everything. I mean, it's all about money. It doesn't matter who the people It's not for us.
I know, but it's also, if you're going to look, they're still going to spend a lot of money. If you're putting in a convention, they'll find some way of having their consultants derive an income from that.
Okay, well, don't do it on the public dollar. They shouldn't.
There should be limits on that. We should really reverse Citizens United. That was a really terrible.
Amen.
Well, I mean, you guys are gonna have to talk to a little guy named Jim's Bop. Jimmy Bop. I don't think he's gonna like that. Oh
That's too
shit!
Bad. But what he did.
Sorry, my screen went completely blank. I just made fun of John for having internet issues, and like now okay.
Brad, are you using dial-up?
No, I got one of those AOL CDs.
AOL?
Yeah.
Wow.
I hear they're good.
How's your Commodore computer working?
Yeah. I got a Coleco. That's no, and wait, hang on. We got Tommy Ice in the chat. Yay. All right. Doing like the Democrats on the foreign money. Act blue.
Yeah, right, Republicans don't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, and Drew, I was laughing too, like, because John actually ended up using our the preview from last week, and he was like,
What?
"Yeah, they're talking about Kalshi, they're talking about all this stuff," and I started laughing because I'm like, "Well, yeah, like, but that was last week," and so he played our preview from last week, and then I played it this morning. But Mark, like, the money that's involved in all this, I mean, it's, again, with let me see how.
Once they started equating money with speech,
Here we go.
then that was in Citizens United. Then they got the biggest windfalls. They don't have to limit the amount of money involved, and you can't ask where the money's from. And that's scary because all of a sudden you've got tens of millions coming from overseas buying anybody that they need. And that's,
But I mean, isn't it like the lawyer's basically job to figure out ways around those words?
Not necessarily. Not if what you're doing is a violation of the oath and what you're supposed to take an oath to for the Constitution. And if you're looking at what your duty is as a person, as a citizen, that supersedes your representing somebody from another country coming in and trying to hack our system. I mean, I haven't briefed that. That's an interesting question, but yeah, especially when it comes to having foreign corporations, foreign individuals, they can mask what they're doing and then do something that nobody had ever anticipated would even be tried. Would be tried, but we'd stop them. But when you realize that one of the first actions we had as a country was the Boston Tea Party, and that was an action taken against the largest corporation in the world. No, it's not to take your money. It's to take other people.
I love that.
But it was like, the Boston Tea Party was the East India Company, and people, the framers and the founding generation were anti-corporation. And so at this time to say, well, it was the intent to allow corporations to act like people is absurd.
Yes. Like, they're not people. They don't deserve the same sort of.
No, they don't.
I mean, they get way more leeway, I feel like, than people do. I feel like regular people get like actual punishments, while
they can. Look at Union Carbide killed 4,000 people in India, in Bhopal, India. Well, how would Union Carbide be put in prison? You're going to take a piece of paper, it's the charter, and set it into a prison cell?
No, exactly.
And that's one thing you do in forming a corporation, is not having liability for stockholders or people who are directors.
No, totally. I want to get to the New York Times thing. I know, Tommy Ice, you probably love the New York Times. It's probably like your favorite news periodical of all time. But the writers came out with a report about top cabinet officials and stuff meeting in the Situation Room about the Epstein files, and it was written by Maggie Haberman. This is all for a book that's coming out in 2 weeks, which really kind of pissed me off, because if you're just compiling all this stuff, why are you not, going to be involved in it? But I wanted to kind of go through some of the people involved. So we got JD Vance, the article, and I'll share it in the chat so you guys can actually read it if you like. You can listen to it as well if you don't like to read, but we can go there. So yeah, we got JD Vance, Caroline Levitt. I like Caroline Eyes. Like, I thought that was like a good Trump kind of nickname.
Jesus, what the hell is that next to her?
Oh, that's the White House communications director.
Good Lord.
See, I actually, when I look at him, Drew, you know who I think he looks like? Is Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cartoon, when he was like in the big body and like the brain was like right in his stomach. I'll have to post a picture of it later on the Facebook page. But yeah, these two were in the meeting too. This is a meeting in the Situation Room about how to handle Epstein. Susie Wiles.
Who's that behind?
That's Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles. And these were all the people in the meeting to discuss how to handle the Epstein situation. This was, I think it was in July of 2025 that they had this meeting. The look on her face, I'm just dying laughing at that because it's, I don't know.
Yeah, what did he just say? What did he say right before that
See,
look?
that's what I thought. But Mark, what did you think? Like, because you didn't think that.
Do you think he farted? Maybe he farted.
Maybe something off to the side. You don't know that. You don't know. Maybe she farted. You can't give. That's a facial expression where you can't be 100% controlling what your expression is, even when you're in the Oval Office, especially if somebody's flatulent.
Well, and I remember last week when Trump went nuts on Kristen Welker, everybody was trying to like make screenshots of Kristen Welker asking questions, and they caught her like when she was going like, and like they made fun of her face, and they were like, "Oh, she's got TDS," like she's yelling at him, and I'm like, "Have you ever seen like, Trump?" And then they showed pictures of Trump's face, which was just yelling, hilarious, but yeah, pictures can kind of tell a story. Tommy I says allegations not confirmed. Well, that's it though. Like, this article's been out for 2 days, and the White House hasn't sued them yet, and they were using quotes. There's no, like, nobody's came out and contradicted the story or anything yet. It's just there. And this was all when Pam Bondi was Attorney General. Good old Pam gave out the binders. And if you look really close, you can see our best friend in Indiana over there on the right. Who's that? Little Scotty Pressler.
Is that Pressler?
It is. It is Scotty Pressler.
Where?
Over
all
on
the way on the right.
The beautiful man with the long flowing hair.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Scott Pressler. He's probably wearing cowboy boots too or something.
Yeah. Okay, the guy that's all the way on the left, isn't he an actor? Isn't he in like Modern Family?
Oh, he does look like him. Yes, I know which one you're talking about.
Is that him?
No, I think this guy is DC Drano, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is that him? Okay.
Yeah. Again, all these people were invited to the White House, right, for the Epstein file binders. They invited social media influencers to the White House to receive. Pam Bondi did this, and it pissed off Dan Bongino the most. Like that was my favorite part of the article, was reading how pissed off Dan Bongino was, because I thought that dude was a clown for like the longest time. And I mean, what is being reported is accurate, he laid into Bondi about like how she handled the Epstein files. Him and Patel were like, how can we go back and tell everybody that we were, that the files aren't there anymore? There's nothing else to look at. It's like, how the hell? Nobody's going to believe that shit. And she said that there was a list on her desk. And then we got Todd Blanche, the acting attorney general. Again, these are all people that are in these meetings, in the Situation Room to talk about how to handle the Epstein files. And so, Drew, you brought up Letitia James was the she was the prosecutor.
Yeah, she was a prosecutor. She prosecutor in I think she's the attorney general in New York, and her whole campaign was to the only thing she ran on was to prosecute Trump, and someone in the chat help out. But I mean, I think those are going to get overturned because she.
Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, one, I didn't have that like lined up to talk about tonight on Letitia James. One, two, be glad to look at it. We can talk about it next week. But she's not been like thrown out of office or anything. It wasn't the only thing she ran on. So she did run saying we've got to hold him accountable, but she's done very credible things in her job there. So
like what? Name one.
Well, but that's it. Like, we're not in like a New York like campaign situation.
Look it up real quick. But like,
but look who was the defense attorney in that case. It was Todd Blanche.
Oh, okay.
Our acting attorney general right now was President Trump's personal lawyer for that trial.
And he's got a conflict of interest, direct conflict of interest when it has to do with Ghislaine Maxwell or any of the things going on. When he went down to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell and cut her the deal, which is not on record, where she got to go to a minimum security facility. That's all conflict. You should never have that. He should not be in that job.
Well, and they discussed what they should do with Maxwell. They discussed what they should do with these new records. They're in the Situation Room, I guess. All these people are in the Situation Room when the Wall Street Journal article or the Washington Post article comes out with the letter where Trump wrote to Epstein about some, with weird back and forth between the two of them, and then he signed it. And
for the birthday?
Yeah, the birthday card. The craziest thing though about Blanche though is that he was named the acting librarian of Congress in May of 2025 because they removed the former librarian of Congress at the Library of Congress. Like, they don't check out books to anyone. You have to be 16 to actually go in and research anything there. And Caroline Leavitt said that she was fired for having inappropriate books, even though they don't check out books there. So, but now Todd Blanche is the acting librarian of Congress apparently still, and I don't know how the hell that's possible. This was a one from the other day too. Todd Blanche just takes the worst freaking pictures. I swear he looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame in this one. And he just
Quasimodo.
Yes. And he just looks like he's just what? I don't like that. He's also claimed like he doesn't understand what people are asking when he's asked about the Epstein files and people who have abused women. He's like, "What do you mean by that?" I don't know what you mean by people abusing women. I'm like, what the hell do you mean you don't know that? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, talk to Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh can explain what we mean.
Oh yeah, no, and then the last two slides are so yeah, James Blair, this guy on the left, he actually was in the meeting, but now he's left. He's running President Trump's political operations for the midterms. The White House counsel was in the meeting too, so just in case they didn't, follow the laws. Stanley Woodhouse, he's been writing a lot of opinions as deputy AG, but this guy is my favorite because he no longer works in the White House. Taylor Budowich, he resigned in September 2025, and a little bit after that, Kalshi announced that Budowich would be a strategic for Americans for Fair Markets, which is like it's a pro AI, pro Kalshi prediction market pack, basically. So they're going around and trying to convince everybody to vote for pro Kalshi kind of, they want to limit the state's impacts on this, and they want to leave it up to the federal government. Same thing with the new pro AI group. These are being led by people that were in Trump's inner circle. But I'm sure that, Hunter Biden's laptop is going to come up and just wipe these all out of the water. I guess, Mark, I want to start with you just on like with the article and stuff. Like, do you think that anything will come of this?
Okay, in terms of them getting angry about different things being released, you're looking at a shelf life. How long do they have to go before they'll secure all the power that they need to stop elections anymore and say, well, we're going to have Trump declare a national emergency or something, so he's now king, or there'll be something else where they just stop elections. Don't look that way, Drew. That's what they really want to do. Now,
that's what they're not going to do that, though. They're not going to do that. What do you mean? Why?
They're getting
People
away
won't.
with it.
They won't. They're not going
to.
to. No. Are you talking about the United States, or are you talking about Israel? Because they're the ones that are postponing elections.
No,
they're
I'm
postponing elections.
You're talking about Donald Trump being president on January 21st, 2029.
No,
he's not going to be president then.
What are the odds? Do you think that? So you don't think the odds? You think the odds are zero?
Yes.
I don't. I think he's going to try to do it. When you've got Barrett,
try to do it and do it, or he's not going to be allowed to do that. His ratings are in the tank.
Well, do you think he's going to try to do it then?
No.
I think when you have one of the justices on the Supreme Court asked directly, can he go for a third term? And she goes, I'm not sure. That shows that there's a lot of, that's a lot of bullshit. And if she's going to lean that way, then they've got the 6 most corrupt.
Which way is she leaning if she says, I'm not sure? If she says, I'm not sure, is that leaning yes or no?
Which means that they could, because the 22nd Amendment begins by saying no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once. That is clear. For her to say, well, I'm not really sure. Sorry, honey. You shot down Roe versus Wade. You lied during your confirmation hearings. Your ass should be cashiered. Sorry.
Well, no, so
did you break something?
No.
No. So Drew, though, like, I guess what are your thoughts on like this meeting? Did it? I mean, like this was
the meeting on the Situation Room meeting about the Epstein files.
Yeah, like
release them. Just release them. And okay, I'm still waiting on Massey to start reading names. I mean, he's been talking about that, so he needs to do it. I mean,
did you see who the biggest proponent of was releasing all of it? Was JD Vance. Vance wanted it released, like he wanted the files released the most out of everybody, I guess. And he was shot down a lot of the times, I guess. And so that kind of surprised me because I didn't know his background though on it. And I mean, I don't know if that was a play for, hey, let's say, hey, all right, let's release all of it and let the public decide. And then all of a sudden I'm going to be president because people are going to be pissed off at Trump.
Robert Reich had a thing today that was, I saw a post talking about the background of J.D. Vance being supported by Peter Thiel and everything, and saying that's a person you really need to watch because Vance is not exactly out there all the time being close enough to Trump where he can get mud thrown at him, the same mud.
No, and I mean, I feel like there's enough of Vance's history, though, too, of just having interviews of being like, Trump's a bad guy, I'm a never Trumper, all this kind of stuff. It's like, is he just playing?
Yep, same thing with Lindsey Graham too. Now they're
And
buddies.
Rubio. Oh, and Rubio, like they've all like they have so many speeches talking about how people will be judged by the time that Donald Trump was in office, and we need to stop this now before it goes any farther. And now they're just in lockstep with everything. So is Vance? I guess are all of them being authentic? Come on, like
Probably not. No, that's an oxymoron, Brad.
Well, but like people fell for it though.
Of course they will.
That's because we're getting all our information from several billionaires-owned corporations that are telling us what they want us to hear, what they will.
Totally agree. Brad, Rob Trickle has a great comment that needs to be put up. There you go, Mark.
States don't have rights, Rob. And it's what the law has been in history. Women have that right.
Somebody apparently needs to brush up on the 10th Amendment. Then maybe, Mark.
No. States' rights aren't mentioned in the 10th Amendment.
I like Larry's comment. That's
it's
good.
not mentioned there, so it's not a right. And besides, the 9th Amendment comes before the 10th. So.
Well, let's go back to this one guy.
So the 10th comes after the 9th. So which would make more? Come on now.
Well, wait. So Drew, like we talked last week about the Secretary of State race a little bit, and in Calchi and stuff, and
you want an update? You want an update on that?
Well, one of the things that we talked about though was that, like at the end, I mentioned that Donald Trump Jr. is a strategic advisor for Calchi. And like, is that a conflict of interest? And then this guy, Taylor Budowich, leaves the White House to start, to become an advisor for Americans for Fair Markets, which is basically like a lobbying firm or a PAC to like make sure that, because I guess the gambling, like traditional gambling, does not like this at all. They
no.
Think and so there's lobbies for that are trying to say, hey, no, like you guys need to regulate this now. And the government is friggin' dragging its feet on how to actually regulate this. I feel like they should have been in like way ahead of this. They're like 30 steps behind at this point. So how would this even seem ethical, or is this just the free market doing what it does?
It seems to me like it could be easily manipulated.
Yeah.
It is legal. As of now, it's legal. So unless you're
well, are there any kind of like regulations, do you think, on whether like foreign money can come in through American bettors on this site?
Because
I think you need to enter like a social security number to like actually get a login, which I didn't do because like I have a horrible feeling about this website that I don't want to give it any of my info. But it's just weird.
They've banned certain political things being predicted on there. They just did that in like the last 48 hours.
No.
Well,
no, You can bet on pretty much it. I'm sorry, you can invest in just about anything political on the site.
And Drew, I went down a rabbit hole too of like trying to figure out the percentages, because I think there was a time where we were all trying to figure out like what the hell, because it didn't all add up to 100.
No.
And it doesn't.
No.
But it has to do something.
Currently, it has Max at 95% chance of winning. Then it has Shelton at 8.3% chance of winning. And then it has Diego at a 19% chance of winning.
That's way over 100%.
Well, no.
Exactly.
I feel like I went down a rabbit hole of just looking into what those trades actually mean. And it's like reading freaking like stereo instructions. Like you just, I freaking like pass out from boredom about 5 minutes in. And that's horrible, because like how do you research something like this? How do you look? You know,
you don't.
I
mean, it's based on a hunch. It's based on a hunch, because there's no. I mean, I can't see it based on anything other than a feeling that you might get. And then if somebody were to put a lot of money on one of the candidates in that race, I believe that could potentially boost their odds. So I'm not, I mean, I don't, does anyone actually know how this website works? Because I would be interested in knowing.
Well, I feel like it's a very Trading Places kind of style of understanding it. Like when you have to, you know, buy short, or, you know, you have to like basically short systems to like make a profit. You're basically screwing a lot of people out of money, I think, is how.
No, potentially you are. Because on
That's exactly. Larry has a great comment right there.
No, and that's what I mean. Like maybe like in sports, political candidates are throwing the races to get people rich. Yeah, like there's an old saying that, you know, winning isn't a guarantee, losing sometimes is. Like if you know that you're going to suck on purpose, yeah, you can pull off a loss. If you try with all your might, you still might lose. It doesn't guarantee a win.
Well, that's why that's why you're not supposed to do fixes on sports events, because that's kind of like supposed to be kind of a whole thing about both sides are trying to win. By the way,
yeah.
I've got the 10th Amendment right here, just so we're clear. It says the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution are prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Those are powers. Makes no mention of states having rights. At the beginning of the Civil War, when the southern states seceded to form the Confederacy, none of the secession statements made any mention of states' rights. The only things to which they made any reference had to do with trafficking of slavery and inferiority of Africans, and that's why they were slaves. No mention of states' rights. That's not something that exists.
Well, I heard that we have the right to keep what is that?
Keep and bear arms. We have the right to keep and bear arms.
Oh yeah, totally. Oh, I'm all pro Second Amendment. Like, no, and we're not doing that because we're not going to get Mark all riled up. Damn it, Drew. I knew it. That was great, man. No. Let's because I want to change to this one. I think nope, not that one. This guy. This is again Andrew Ireland, just the trust chart king. Praising the fact that he got a like by Elon Musk on
That's
Elon.
Kind of cool.
Well, it's on Elon Musk's own social media platform too, and based on everything I saw of Elon Musk the other day, did you see like the big puppet of him in Times Square?
No.
There's like a giant display of Elon with no shirt on and giant man boobs, just saying like, you know, Grok Grok makes kitty, basically like kid CSAM or whatever it is like that. Like Grok can make that, and it was just in Times Square for people to see and look at, and then it was shared all over Twitter, which made me laugh because I had to unfollow that asshole because I didn't follow him in the first place, but he just signs you up to be his friend on Twitter. But
what was it? Kind of like the guy that remember MySpace?
Was it Tom?
Yes, it was Tom from MySpace.
Hell yeah, Tom from MySpace. That's hilarious. No, I don't know. I don't have anything else. I don't think. But
the only thing I'll say about like the way Twitter and those spaces work now, the way they feel, it's like Diagon Alley in the 5th Harry Potter film. It's all deserted. There are very few people there, and it's just things have been changing in terms of provision of information to people, and I don't feel good the way it's going.
No, not at all.
Brad, I just sent you something. Sorry.
Okay. Well, no, and Mark, can you actually talk about the Eastgate, the data center a little bit?
Data center.
They want to put it. Okay, here's what happened. From what I gathered yesterday, information I got was they had a community meeting over there on the east side. They're wanting to put one of the data centers in over there. Now, normally data centers are out in the middle of nowhere, and they do this to people, and they suck in natural resources and stuff. Well, they're doing that on the east side of Indianapolis. People showed up. Everybody was opposed to it. Well, they're going to go ahead and put it in anyway. And it's like, you're sucking out these resources, you need all this water, and people are saying, no, we don't want it. And it's actually creating things that are going to eliminate jobs. Short term, they'll have construction people out there. Long term,
maybe.
Well, good point. But they have to have a few of them out there. But it's like trains now. I mean, trains have 2 people on them normally. They've got the engineer and they've got a conductor who's looking at the cars and everything. They're being completely automated. You've got on the data centers like that. But the bad thing about the data centers is it's sucking out water and making life rough for people who have to live around them, and they don't care. And that's America.
No. Drew, what about you? Like, are there any comments on data centers over by where you live too?
Well, so the golf course that we played at the last time you were down here, there was that was the one that got beaten. That was the Franklin Township data center, and that was like right along that way. I mean, did you see we were driving down Raymond Street, and then it turned into just farmland, and then it was just all open fields? We would have been driving right, like pretty close to where that would have been, the one that got beaten. As far as, I mean, I think that the data centers are, the fact that they're so secretive about everything is making it a lot worse than it probably is. And I don't think that they're doing a very good job of earning the public's trust, because they're like, I'll use an example. There's a dump off Kentucky Avenue that nobody wants a dump right across from their properties. So in order to keep people from being able to see the dump, they put up a golf course and called it Buffer Park. So now I think Brad, we played there too. We played there too. So I'm sure that in order to put a dump somewhere, they had to go through zoning and speak to the neighborhoods. And maybe the data centers need to make more concessions to the people whose lives that they could potentially affect. And they need to show these people, if they really don't think they're going to affect their lives as much as people think they are, then they need to show it, and they need to show some sign of faith that, hey, we're here to help you. We're not going to make your lives more difficult. We're not going to ruin your natural habitat. They're doing a horrible job of it. So I can understand why the people are protesting them. They're not.
The whole thing with the meetings is a game, because
Yes.
if you show up for one of the meetings, and this happened about 12 years ago in Broad Ripple, challenging what they were wanting to do, which was destroy Broad Ripple. It's like, well, did you come to one of the other meetings? Well, no. Well, we've had 14 meetings already. You didn't have time to do that. I mean, that's what they basically do. Now, if you went all 14 meetings, they'd go, "Don't you have a life?" And
They schedule them. They schedule the meetings during work hours too.
Jokes about the people who are asking questions, and because it's like it was absurd. And at one point, one of them goes, "Well, we did a study and realized there wasn't an organic food store in Broad Ripple. 90% of the people were there because of Good Earth." And everybody started laughing and booing, and these people were like, "Oh, well, whatever." And then the other guy, this one guy gets up and he goes, "Well, we wanted to get a wow factor for Broad Ripple." It's like, who the fuck is this guy? It's, when they're talking about development, though, and the TIF money, they get rich on it.
Well,
let the people know the facts.
One of the reasons I'm asking, though, is like, so this week, Alexandria, we have a data center meeting this Wednesday. And so I'm going to go, and because I don't want to get yelled at later on, Mark, for not being at the first of 14 meetings. And I don't even know if this is the first meeting. And one of my friends, Katie Rector, she posted this on Facebook, and she actually does mention that, Indiana lawmakers a few years ago passed another bill that gives data centers tax abatements for 50 years. And so our state senator as well, like, he actually passed a bill to annex some land in Alexandria. And I think it's because of, because for the data centers, I guess. And so, I mean, what questions would you guys have against, if this were your area?
Has there been an environmental assessment done? Who performed it? Can we get a copy of that report? What is it projected to do in terms of water used? What is its purpose? What is its function? Why are
Mark,
you building?
If you knew about Alexandria water, like if you knew, like, we've had issues with our water for some time now, and it's been pretty public in newspapers and stuff, at least for the town. So I don't know that. Do they even look for like solid water? Like, does it even matter if it's good water? Does it matter that it's
total use? It's total use. So you will not have access to water because it's all being sucked through there. That is an imbalance that happens.
Most of these are closed loop systems. The initial water that's going to be used is going to be used in construction. And then once the thing is completed, the closed loop system uses minimal water because it keeps on circulating it through within itself. But that's the initial amount of water is used during construction.
Okay.
That's not what I understand.
Larry.
Well, that is what I understand. A friend of mine is one of the people building them. He works for a company down in Atlanta, and that's where the majority of the water is being used. And most of these are a closed loop system now because of the water issue. Some of them weren't, because you remember they were talking about stealing water from Eagle Creek to go up to that Lebanon thing. Yeah. Well, people put up such a big stink about it. They're mostly using the closed loop systems now. The electricity is the big issue.
You keep saying now, like it's not gonna.
There's more than one type of system, but most of the ones that are going in are closed loop, and they're not using the amount of water that you might think that they were using. But the initial amount of water that they're using is large because of the construction needs. But after that amount of water is used, the water usage isn't as much as you would think, because it's a closed loop system, which keeps on circulating the water for the cooling purposes.
Okay. Well, I had a question about the location though too, because is the Eastgate one the one that was at like an old mall?
It's on Shadeland.
Okay,
it's on
so
Shadeland Avenue.
They took a mall that, like, I guess, was it out of business and stuff, or?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so is that not a better use of that location than a dilapidated mall?
It's a better. Okay, so it's better than having a vacant property there. The issue is going to be the electrical usage and how much it's going to drive up our utility rates that are already out of control. So that's been the biggest issue. And people, I mean, I totally understand. I mean, I don't want my electric rates to go up.
But also they have to do an environmental impact. What they're doing is dumping crap into the area, and I want to see what I don't have that information. I'm not going to make a statement.
But so then why are you saying that's all they're doing is dumping crap into the area without knowing the information?
No, that's what I've heard. And you're asking me specifics.
Well, you're talking about it like you know what you're talking about.
Drew, like, you use, general references. It's not
right. But what I'm saying is there's no byproduct of a data center. It's the cooling. That's what the water usage, and then the electrical, the raised electrical. But as far as environmental impacts, if you're talking about the humming sound that they allegedly make.
No. I'm talking about any environmental impact, especially when you're talking about what I read about the water. I've read about the power and everything. And I'm saying those are concerns of mine. And I don't doubt your goodwill in making these statements. I doubt their goodwill in making those presentations to the public. They kill people all the time. They don't give a shit.
Well, I'm just saying that the environmental impacts, other than the actual building going up, and in the case of the Eastgate Mall, the environmental impacts would be nothing really. I mean, it's already an industrial area with all sorts of stuff going on around there.
Well, that's what I mean. There's an infrastructure like there.
The electric's going to be an issue.
Okay. Another thing too, though. So, just a dumb question. Like, with data centers, they come in all shapes and sizes, right? Like,
yes,
they're not all like the Amazon massive data center plants. They can be like smaller.
I worked for an insurance company that's located downtown, and within the building they have their own data centers.
Oh wow, okay.
Well,
so
well then with the energy costs, like, how do you that's I don't know.
They the same?
Yeah, we'll have to look into that one.
Maybe SMRs.
Oh yeah, dude, SMRs. Indie Reporter talks a lot about SMRs. I think that's where I learned about it for the first time, which was surprising. But yeah, he does deep dives into that stuff. So,
you see the video I sent you?
Oh no, wait.
Yeah, Mark, you got to see this, man.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. Oh, wait. Why isn't it playing? Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
You can't park there. I tried. Have a good night, boy.
Oh.
Good one.
That best part is just you're laughing.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was my friend Jeremy.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. No, that was I don't know what he was trying to like, and just gun it, like.
Yeah. It was. So we were getting ready to leave. I had to go to Harbor Freight to get a tool. So we were leaving, and we were getting ready to pull out of the parking lot, and I saw what this guy had done. So I was like, pull back around. So I got the camera rolling, and the way we were looking at it, he could have handled it one or two ways. He could have gotten really, really upset and charged at us, or he could have just said, put his hands up and just said, whatever. But yeah, he took it really well. He took it really well.
No, that's pretty hilarious though, because like I totally thought that was you laughing though, because it reminded me of
no. People think it was, but it wasn't. It was him.
Well, and it reminded me of Witty's video on of Diego yesterday or the other day.
Oh my God, Mark, did you see this?
No.
Oh man, Diego, like at this function for the Republicans' Secretary of State's, Kyle Pierce went up and he was representing Max and Andrew Ireland and stuff, and he was talking about a lot of things. And right after his speech, I think Diego felt crossed. So,
did you have the video?
Hang on, can you send it to me really fast?
Yeah, I'll get it real quick for you.
Because and then so Indie Reporter Slick Witty, he's recording this from like, I don't know, the back row of the event, and you can hear him like snickering when Diego starts his because of how pissed off Diego. And I mean, I've really never seen Diego that fired up before, and it was like,
yeah,
it was very like. And he chanted "fight, fight, fight" like Trump.
I'm getting it for you, brother.
And it was just like, yeah, it wasn't the best of times for Diego. Yeah.
Trying to find it here.
Of course, mentioning the fight, they were coming up with different revelations about the different attempted shootings of Trump and how they didn't make sense.
Oh, well, yeah. But, and that's it too. Like, I still can't get over the one guy who got shot in the back, or like in the background of Butler. Like, I never want to disrespect that in talking about it, but it's just
there
like,
you go, Brad.
Collateral damage.
You guys are going to love this. I'm sure you've seen it. Shout out to Indie Reporter. Team Wart, we're back.
Hello, fellow delegates and fellow Republicans and fellow patriots. As you know, first of all, let me thank many of you. Because of you, I was elected in 2022. I am a grassroots person. I am a patriot. And I am honored to be your Secretary of State. First and foremost, we're so close to Indianapolis, so close. And I'm so glad to see you all here.
Oh, wait, I think this
Let's
is like
address a couple of things here real quick. First and foremost, I invite you, fellow delegates. Before Sarah, thank you for hosting us. Thank you so very much. Thank you. I'd like to share with all of you that I see many people here today. After this, we have my action.
Yeah, this one
is now part of the American.
Check out Indie Reporter's page. Yeah, we don't have different. Well, because this one was.
Here we go. This is the correct one. I'm sending it right now.
Okay.
Okay, this is the one where he loses his cool.
'Cause
Yeah,
that first-
yeah.
because the first one was like I think his actual speech, and then like he storms up to the stage right after that. Hang on.
No, the video I just sent you
Yes.
to Messenger. That's it.
I'm the guy who I am the chief election officer, and I'm the guy who enforces and runs our elections in the office. Period. Period. Let me be that clear. And by the way, I raise that money. And by the way, when any of you will donate to me, I give you an example. People say, who paid for your trip to India? I did. When any of you will pay for that, and then you can bring that up. If not, next time, you will bring that, then give me the check first. I didn't bring up India. But I did raise the money. In 2022, I did. And let me be that clear. When you donate to me, and then you can talk. Otherwise, you just lie right there. And secondly, I run the elections in the Secretary of State's office, period. And then you know what? I went to hire Dustin Renner, who works in the Bartholomew County office, to help me because he worked as in the county clerk's office in Bartholomew County.
Can you guys in the live chat hear this?
We need to set the record straight because these people are trying to throw things to make me look bad. No one is going to walk over me again, ever again. I'm going to fight.
Thanks, Lucy.
Almost, I am the chief election officer, and I'm the
Well, and yeah, I mean, so he brought up India without the other guy bringing up India. Is that right? Like, why would he do that?
Well, it's a misspelling. India is only 2 letters away from Indiana.
Well played. Well played. All right, we got to wrap up now because it's about 9. So we'll be back next week for a Father's Day show. We'll figure something out. And then in a couple weeks, I'm actually going to be off because of Fish, the band, not the activity. So we'll see what Drew's going to do. But no, I really appreciate everybody sticking around. Ducky, yeah, Ducky is in the
I have
chat.
no volume. I can't hear a thing.
Oh, we can hear you. But okay, well, yeah, we're gonna take off because of all the technical whatnots now. So, yeah, everybody take care. Have a good week, and we'll see you next weekend.